Hello everyone, my name is Shi Shuyi. Today I will be analyzing the use of mise-en-scène in Spirited Away, directed by Hayao Miyazaki. Mise-en-scène refers to the visual elements we see on screen, including the production and set design, props, costume, hair, makeup, blocking and staging. In Spirited Away, Miyazaki uses these visual elements to show Chihiro's growth from a frightened child into an independent and responsible individual. At the same time, they help communicate the film's criticism of greed and materialism. First, I would like to discuss the production and set design of the bath house. One of the most memorable locations in the film is Yubaba's bath house. When Chihiro first sees the bath house, the building appears enormous and visually dominates the surrounding environment. Surrounded by darkness and water, the brightly illuminated structure immediately draws the audience's attention. The exterior design of the bath house establishes it as the center of the spirit world. Its large scale and grand appearance make Chihiro seem small in comparison, emphasizing how unfamiliar and overwhelming this new environment is for her. The interior of bath house is equally important. Inside, the building is filled with workers, spirits, staircases, corridors, and constant movement. Everyone appears busy performing their duties and serving customers. Through these detailed and crowded environments, Miyazaki creates a society driven by work, profits, and hierarchy. As the story progresses, Chihiro gradually learns how to function within the environment. Therefore, the bath house is more than just a setting. It also reflects the challenges she must overcome during her journey toward independence. The second element I would like to discuss is props. One of the most significant props in the film is food. Early in the story, Chihiro's parents discover a large feast and begin eating without permission. Shortly afterward, they are transformed into pigs. The food symbolizes excessive consumption and selfish desire. By turning the parents into pigs, Miyazaki criticized people who prioritize personal satisfaction without considering the consequences of their actions. Another important prop is gold. When No-Face offers gold to the workers in the bath house, many of them immediately become excited and eager to receive more. Their behavior changes as they become focused on obtaining material reward. In this scene, gold represents temptation and greed. Together, the food and gold scenes reinforce the film's criticism of materialism and uncontrolled desire. The third aspect of mise-en-scène is costume. At the beginning of the film, Chihiro appears as an ordinary young girl. However, after she begins working in the bath house, she changes into a work uniform. Although the costume itself is simple, it carries important meaning. The uniform visually marks Chihiro's transition from a child who depends on her parents to a member of the spirit world with responsibility of her own. This change in appearance reflects an important stage in her development. As Chihiro adapts to her new environments, she becomes more confident, responsible, and independent. In this way, the costume helps communicate her growth throughout the film. Finally, I would like to discuss blocking and staging through the construct scene in Yubaba's office. When Chihiro first meets Yubaba, the office is arranged to emphasize Yubaba's authority and power. Yubaba occupies the dominant position within the frame, while Chihiro appears much smaller and is often placed below her. The large desk and surrounding space further highlight the imbalance between the two characters. Through this staging, the audience can clearly see that Chihiro is in a vulnerable position. When she first enters the spirit world, this scene is important because it visually establishes the power structure that Chihiro must navigate. At the same time, it creates a strong contrast with her later confidence and independence, making her character development more noticeable. In conclusion, Spirited Away demonstrates the power of mise-en-scène through its production and set design, props, costume, and blocking and staging. The best house creates a complex world shaped by work and hierarchy. Food and God symbolize greed and temptation. Chihiro's work uniform reflects her changing identity, and Yubaba's office visually communicates power and authority. Through these visual elements, Miyazaki creates more than just a fantasy adventure. He encourages audiences to reflect on growth, responsibility, identity, and the consequences of excessive desire. Thank you for watching.